Hello everyone, friends, I'm Aykut. Today I have the new Ford Puma with me. Now we're going to review the renewed Puma. It's a 125 horsepower, 1.0 mild hybrid, meaning a light hybrid vehicle. Let's look at its innovations and how it looks. Honestly, the price is not very reasonable either. Let's get in the car right away. Yes, in front of us is a new Ford Puma. It doesn't have any extreme differences in exterior appearance compared to the old one. As you can see, there are LED headlights again, full LED headlights, but they're not matrix. If you want to get LED matrix, you need to get the higher package or technology package or something. Otherwise they do not come. A grey colored vehicle. Honestly, it has become a color that people generally look at when they see it. It has 17-inch alloy wheels. They are described as diamond cut again. Signals are present on the side mirror. There is not much change in the silhouette overall. It is generally the same vehicle with its exterior. It has front and rear LED lights up here like this. There is a very large shark fin antenna. Since the shark fin antenna has connection features, they are somewhat larger in new vehicles. In older vehicles, there used to be tiny antennas. Now there are large antennas. Again, as you can see on the back, there is no change. It has LED lights. There is no longer an exhaust outlet. The exhaust is hidden underneath. Again, if we look from the side, from this side too, we can see the same differences. Again, the key is like this. The same old Ford key we're familiar with. It doesn't have any special features. For remote start features, you need to connect it to the car with a phone. It works that way. However, it's not very reliable. There are no such things as starting it from anywhere and so on. Again, it has ADAS features. This is a brand new 2025 model 0 mile hybrid with 125 horsepower, as we mentioned, 7-speed automatic transmission. At the same time, there is also a 155 horsepower version. It says it goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 9.6 seconds. I haven't tried it. We will see. Euro 6.2 engine. This vehicle weighs 1,368 kilograms. It has 456 liters of trunk space. There is also an 80 liter space underneath called a mega box. Let me show you that right away. It has a 456 liter trunk. There is also a space underneath known as the mega box. There are small LED lights and hooks in the trunk. They are on both sides, both here and there. There is a 12-volt socket here. You can plug something in here and attach a mini fridge or something. And there is a bag inside the trunk. It might seem very high, but when you lift it, it goes down. There is also a huge space below. Right now, there's a fire extinguisher and first aid kit inside, but you can see how small they appear. Let me show you. Let's take this back. By lowering it like this, you can create a larger space. Of course, when it's like that, it's a lot. It comes up to my wrist. I mean, this much space. There are also hooks here. If you want to attach something, there is a counterpart here as well. You can connect it from here. Again, you can take it like this, place it on the top, and easily put your belongings inside. If you're placing bags or other everyday needs, they don't have to stay above. There is no electric trunk. If you get the Estee line, it comes with an electric trunk. By the way, this is the titanium package. I didn't mention that. The cheaper version, when I say the cheaper version, it sells for around 600 something. I don't know how cheap that is. Would you choose this car for that price? It seems to be losing some of its competitiveness. Let's also take a look at the engine. There is no shock absorber here again. You connect it with the handle like this. There's a kind of bump here. You open it from here. It feels a bit strange at first when opening it because generally it's usually in the middle. You press this and then lift it. You don't press while lifting. It's considered a 0.1 mild hybrid. It's a 125 horsepower version. Don't ask how much of a hybrid it is. Honestly, I didn't feel its hybrid nature at all. I've used other mild hybrid vehicles, but this one is a bit different. The exterior details of the vehicle were like this. Now let's move inside. We can start from the rear. The front is adjusted for me again. As you can see, the rear doesn't appear spacious at first glance. The vehicle is somewhat small. Now I will sit, and honestly I cannot sit. As you can see, for someone who is 1.93 meters, this is not ideal. I couldn't sit here. My foot didn't even fit. So that's how it is. I'm forcing my foot in right now. As you can see, the headroom is borderline. My hair is actually touching right now, but it's borderline. However, if the person driving in the front is tall, there's little chance. The back is almost unusable. At most, a child can sit here. Even if you seat a child, he will complain again because it's a bit claustrophobic for him here. As we're finishing the back, there are, again, 1 or 2 Type-C inputs and a 12-volt socket here. There isn't any ventilation or anything else. There's a light here. It acts as if the light is touch sensitive, but it's not. Yeah, you press it like this and it goes inside. It goes in just a little bit. It goes in about this much. Yeah, there's no handle in the back. There are 2 hooks like this. The view from the back to the front is like this, but as I said, the back is very claustrophobic, very, very tight. Again, there is no armrest in the middle. The seats can be folded in two parts. Let's move to the front. Before moving to the front, I mentioned that the doors are in this titanium package. Everywhere is hard plastic. There's no soft part at the back. Of course, we have a window switch. There is one cup holder. You cannot put anything else here. You can only put a water bottle. You can't put anything else. Other than that, there's nothing extra. Yes, when we move to the front, the upper parts of the front door are also hard plastic. Then these parts are like this, leather covered. Yes, these areas are a bit soft. Again, the place to rest your arm, where your hand and arm will be, is covered in soft leather. And the window buttons are here. Disable the rear windows. Again, the door locks, and the same settings are located here. Again, not very large, not too small, but not overly large either. It's got a somewhat different structure. There's a door section, there's a left sector here. Below, the door closes from these parts and mud doesn't come inside here. That's nice in that regard. Your pants don't get dirty when getting in and out. As for the seat, we have a manual seat. The seat is a bit soft, not a hard seat. It's not a hard structured seat. There is lumbar support adjustment, backrest adjustment. There is a height adjustment. The lumbar support works well. It inflates the seat well. In the titanium packages, pedals come in plastic like this. There is no front fog light in our car anyway. Let's go inside. As we move to the interior, you can see the headlight settings here. There are automatic lights and wipers. The fog light is pressed from the inside. You can turn the lights on and off by rotating here. You see the headlight height adjustment here. It has a 12.8-inch screen here, and in fact this card is new. Together with you, I am opening it. Here there is a 12-inch screen, a huge screen. Let's press it, let it light up like this. The Puma thing appears. Here the Ford logo comes up, it opens immediately. It doesn't keep you waiting much. It constantly gives you information when it opens. If Apple CarPlay is connected, it opens like this. It has its own navigation here. Here is the Apple CarPlay. Let's close this with the fan. There is Apple CarPlay. There is an Apple CarPlay expansion button. When you press it, here are the wipers, headlights, high beam and signal, all here. You adjust the sensitivity of the automatic wiper. So the more you adjust here, the more you increase the sensitivity, and it works accordingly. It stops and works by itself, by the way, but it seems like it doesn't stop here. It gives you the feeling that you need to make adjustments from here. When you press here, it washes the windows and the rear wiper setting is done. This is again the signal adjustment as we know it. It has a nice two-spoke steering wheel. This side is wider, this side is smaller. You can turn lane keeping on and off from here. You can also turn on the cruise control from here. There is no adaptive cruise control. You need to get the technology package or the ST line for it to be adaptive. Although there is a front collision warning, it doesn't have adaptive control. It's probably done to create a class distinction and to earn a bit more money. You can turn the sound settings on and off from here. You adjust the screen settings from here. As you can see, when I press, it goes back and forth. You can do it by moving up and down here and entering settings here. You can open or close the phone from here. You can also skip music forward or backward from here. Honestly, at this place called Smart View, there's nothing excessive. You just adjust what you want on this screen. You can make settings from here. When you come to the screen, if you want, you can get miles in addition to kilometers on the speedometer. I don't know how necessary it is. For theme selection, this is actually for the selection of sports mode. In driving mode with change, there's a blue one like this. There is a green like this. When you change it with the driving mode, it turns blue because it is currently in normal mode. Again, it's a very readable screen where everything is done nicely. Here is the fuel gauge. There is the temperature gauge. You see your vehicle in the middle. When those lines become prominent, the vehicle sees lines. In other words, the lane departure warning or steering intervention happens then. If these are inactive and you're only seeing the car, it doesn't intervene. The on and off button is here. It stops at such a nice place. When you first get into the car, you don't expect it to be there because it has a slight feature of blending into the darkness. Here there is a 12-inch screen. I will come to that. Here's our hazard lights button. The volume control button and the button to turn the radio on and off are here. You can turn off the start-stop from here. You can also activate the defrost from here. If you want to open the front part, you can open it. As another Ford feature, there is a defroster on the windshield. If your windshield fogs up, immediately use this. When you tap here, it activates the resistance. and instantly removes the fog on the front windshield. Yeah, as for the glove compartment, it has this kind of fabric covering. It gives a nice feel, but it's hard, and these parts are hard plastic. All the upper parts are hard plastic. Yeah, only this in the section continuing with the door, this part seems like it's leather covered. This part is leather covered, and this part is leather covered. Everything else is made of hard plastic, friends. The air vents look stylish. When you look at it, they've made an elephant that doesn't stand out and is in harmony. As we go down, it seems like there's a spot for a charger, but there's no charging station there. If you get the full package or the technology package, then it will be there. There is a small spot here. This part is made like a keychain. The key fits right here. There's also a Type C and a Type A port. It's nice to have both. We have a big gear knob. I don't know why they didn't make it smaller or change the design. As we go down, there's a small empty space here. You can put your car key here if you have one, or something like that, but the key is a bit large for this space. You could put 1 lira or 2 lira coins here. We have 2 cup holders here. In fact, there are 2.5 large. These go inside for things. If they are a bit smaller, they grip and don't fly around inside. By the way, it has ambient lighting. It's currently glowing blue, but it's not very visible. There's another one at the back. Things like this can be placed here. It fits like this. There is a manual handbrake. There's no automatic handbrake. We also have a leather covered armrest. It's nice that it can move back and forth. It's not fixed. So when you press and lift, there's nothing on this side. When you come underneath, there's a kind of container here like this. It's nice that they provided such a container. I made one for myself in the IKEA. It becomes useful. You can put small items in it. Then when you look inside, there isn't any lining or cooling or heating or anything. It's quite deep like this. My hand goes in up to my wrist, so there's about a 20 centimeters gap here. The seats have height adjustment and lumbar support. If you get the full package, those come with this seat too. Nothing extra comes with it. If we move to the top, when you open here, it's illuminated. There are makeup mirrors. They light up when we open them. Here we have an SOS button, something that should now be mandatory for everyone. Here there are lights with an on-off switch. If you want, you can turn them on and off one by one by pressing like this. As for the glove box, when you press it like this, it has a pretty slow descending glove compartment. It has a nice feature in it. There is a document section here. Yeah, you can put your documents here. Right now there is a registration there. There is also a manual and something for manually filling the fuel if it runs out. There is no covering. You can press here to turn on the seat heating. When the car's off, it's a bit tricky. It doesn't turn on immediately, but the seat heating works nicely. It heats up quickly. As you can see here, the vehicle also has a steering wheel heating. It's very nice on leather steering wheels during cold times. This is also a leather-wrapped steering wheel. It has automatic climate control. When you press auto here, it adjusts everything by itself. It turns on the front window defroster when you press here. Even if it comes a little late, you can adjust the air conditioning. You turn it on and off from here. There's a button for where it should go. Rear window defroster, air conditioning, on off button. Again, when you press here, you adjust the fan speed. Also here there's the adjustment for the passenger seat and the driver's seat. When we come inside here, the navigation is very nice. It shows most places in 3 dimensions. I mean, when you enter a route, you can see most places in 3 dimensions, and as you can see, it works extremely fast. So when you press it, it doesn't lag or struggle. It's really, really nice. When you press it, it immediately returns to where you were. You can bring it to 3-dimensional view like this, or you can view from above, however you prefer. It has many settings. There's constantly a screen sitting here like this. You can slide it. You can see Apple CarPlay or the sound system. That part is nicely done. They haven't skipped it. The screen doesn't completely disappear from here, but while talking, there's quite a noticeable bearing noise. It works by adding robot sounds one after another, like turn right here and such. So the words right and turn have been recorded separately and placed sequentially in the navigation. It's a connected vehicle. You can start it remotely with the 4Connect app, but it doesn't work very well. You can see many complaints about it online. Here it shows the outside temperature, the time. When we go to settings, there's a phone list. You can see the connected phones. There are navigation settings. In the navigation settings, you can enable the map, guidance, notifications, traffic and such. If you provide internet to your car, you can also get traffic information from here. When we enter general settings, you can set the language and temperature units from here. You can see your tire pressures in PSI. If you leave the vehicle on for a long time, it gives an alert like this. Let's start it. The car shakes while it's running. Friends, since it's 3-cylinder, there's no vibration. But when you start it, honestly, you go back and forth like this. You hear these beep beep sounds. On the touch screen, you can escape and turn it off from here. Again, you can see software information and so on. Let's go back immediately. You can select the brightness mode for the screen from here. It's currently in night mode, and when you switch to day mode, it becomes completely white. Honestly, I don't like such things. It's too bright. There's also an automatic mode, but I prefer using it at night. I don't know. I can share this via Wi-Fi, and when you enter the vehicle settings, it doesn't idle for more than 30 minutes. If you leave the vehicle, it shuts itself off. There's a remote start setup. You select the climate settings and such. Now, when started remotely, it operates just as you set it up. From here, you can choose the opening and closing of the windows. When you come to the lighting with the key, it works with a 20-second delay. You can have automatic high beams, and you can choose the brightness setting of the cockpit lighting inside. That is nice. You can adjust the settings of the things working on the top side. There's this nice feature with the locks when you open the door for security, if you choose only the driver's door. When you press once, only the driver's door opens. When you press again, the other doors open. If you choose all doors, pressing once opens all doors directly. When you swipe to the side, there are mobile apps and software updates. You can connect to the internet and get updates for the vehicle if available. You can set it to valet mode if you are going to give the car to someone outside. After settings, there is also a features section. When you select Eco in the driving modes, it turns green. When you select Sport, there is a screen here like this. Again, this is the first copper. It comes to the available spot. There's also a mode called Slippery. It's blue here again. I mean, it shows rain, but snow would have made more sense, I think. In sports mode, the throttle response is extremely sharp. I don't recommend it in the city. It's like the car is constantly trying to leap forward. When we come to the applications, find the mobile application. When you press Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, it asks you to download the app. If you're going to use it, you need to make an effort. If there is an app on your phone that is compatible here, it pulls it here, and you can use it from here. It's somewhat smaller this way. When you press it, you can see a bigger sound system here. That's nice in that respect. Let's open it again. The map is loading, it's visible. The features inside were like this. Overall, the sound system is nice. It satisfies a person. I can't show you anything from here, but it is satisfying. Let me put it that way. In earlier cars, I used to hear sounds like those from 1 lira tape players' speakers. However, the bass and treble sounds in this car are nice. They are satisfying. It's not the kind of sound system that would make you frown in disapproval. So let's proceed with the drive and continue. It regenerates a bit too much. I couldn't find the setting for it. So when you're driving and let go of the gas expecting the car to roll, a warning sign appears on the screen like a charging symbol. The car jerks. When that happens, honestly, it becomes a problem. So wait, the vehicle ends up braking more than you can see. It feels a bit strange. You need to get used to its usage. Otherwise, it offers a pretty good drive. If the vehicle is supporting you again while driving, it's on the screen here as well. A symbol like a single spinning wheel appears, and you can see it from there. For example, right now the car is straining itself in here. There's a battery charging symbol. It strains itself quite a bit, but it still recognizes the signs. This is mandatory due to GSR2. It alerts you with a small beep because you've exceeded the speed. The car doesn't consume too much. We've traveled 70 kilometers. The vehicle is currently at 93 kilometers. Fuel consumption will decrease a bit as it's used again, depending on usage and the tightness of the engine. But in my own usage, generally in city traffic that is not too congested, it shows 8.3 liters. This is the average for 70 kilometers. It shows after refueling. You can constantly see these in the middle. It's not a vehicle that consumes excessively. When you step on it, the average is up to a certain speed. The car accelerates very quickly up to 60 or 70. After that, I can say it loses a bit of its breath. You hear this warning right now. You need to turn it off from here by going into driver support. You go into the speed limit assistance and press the button to turn off the speed limit warning, and it's turned off for this time. So when I turn off the vehicle and start it again, this beeping sound will come back and continue to bother. This is something mandatory for GSR2. But honestly, it would have been better if they hadn't placed so many things in one spot. It would have been better if they hadn't placed them inside. It absorbs the minor bumps very well. you can pass over the speed bumps without discomfort. So it is of high quality, but if used by a family, it might feel a bit firm. The vehicle stands a little high. If you want to lower it slightly and add some firmness, it might honestly affect your comfort. Overall, the suspensions are quite nice. The transmission is quite nice. It responds very quickly. You don't have to wait. I had also reviewed the Kia Coupe before this. Again, it had an advanced transmission. Its initial start, despite being dual clutch, felt as if it had a torque converter. I don't really know why. The responses are very quick. It shifts gears very fast. So honestly, it doesn't keep you waiting for anything. You don't find yourself saying, come on, shift already. It's quite fast. However, you do notice when it shifts gears. For instance, in the Kia C, you notice when it shifts gears. You didn't really feel it. In this one, you feel the gear shifting. Again, as a strange feature, this vehicle doesn't have a sunroof. If you want a sunroof, you need to get the ST line package. So I don't quite understand why there's no sunroof in the titanium package. You can't even get it as an option with the titanium package, meaning you have to get the full package. And even then, it's optional. The car has keyless start, but no entry or anything like that. So you open and get in manually. After that, you start it without inserting a key. I mean, if it had this much recognition feature, why wasn't entry included? Again, you need to get the full package. I think Ford is playing a bit too much for the money because the features that are there and the ones that aren't seem a bit odd to me. So if you buy it thinking that if there's a feature, it's there, you're left wondering, like, why isn't it there? Like, it recognizes lanes and sees the car in front when you get close, but there's no adaptive cruise control. If you want it, they say get the full package. They say get the package. So it didn't make much sense to me. Why a system that already exists? I didn't understand something that was done. Inside, not much changes when you get the full package, but in terms of package features, quite a lot changes. The fluidity of the vehicle is quite nice, but as I said, there's just that problem. When you release the gas, a charging symbol appears on the screen. It says it's doing regeneration. It brakes quite noticeably. I mean, I'm not pressing the brake right now. It slowed the car down and will stop it. It does so much regeneration. This is the only issue as far as I see, and I haven't seen it setting. I don't know, maybe I couldn't find it. I don't want to say anything wrong right now, but I couldn't see it setting. This felt a bit problematic to me. I might not want this because it prevents the car from gliding in a snowy period or a place where I want it to glide. It constantly requires me to touch the gas. This just bothered me. I didn't see any other issues. I'll also be getting on the highway shortly. We'll see its acceleration there too. The screen continuously informs you. They've set up a nice setting. The screen is not very busy. It is not an overly information-packed screen either. In that regard, it's good. Right now the roads are wet and it's having difficulty seeing things. It's having difficulty seeing the lanes. I mean, despite the lanes being quite clear, actually, the vehicle is currently not recognizing the lanes, for example. It's not an overly sensitive system, especially on the open highway side. We have returned to the highway. Right now I'm going at 112 kilometers per hour, and the sound of the road and wind can be heard a little. The road noise is more noticeable than the wind noise, but it is not at a disturbing level right now. I am going 120. It's not at an annoying level. You start to hear road noise earlier compared to wind noise. The noise starts coming in around 80. The wind noise also starts coming in after 100. Didn't intervene. It is currently visible on the screen. I can't say anything if it doesn't notice it here anyway, but as you can see, it's pushing the middle lane a little. Corrected. I will let it go again now. It is currently giving a warning to keep your hand on the steering wheel. Again, on this side, it is a bit more sensitive on this side, friends. It behaves a bit more sensitively towards the walls. It warns you, and the steering corrects. Meanwhile, while the steering is correcting, it doesn't throw you to this side. I mean the steering. It adjusts you to stay in the middle of the lane. It doesn't constantly sway you left and right within the lane. In that regard, it's nice. In the Hyundai group, especially in this GSR2, it keeps throwing you to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left continuously. This one takes you to the middle of the lane and keeps you there. That thing is nicely done. As I said, the features are adjustable. There's a vehicle right now with those features that are reduced just in software. If you get the technology package, it holds the lane, becomes adaptive, and some things are added. This one is not adaptive. Before a collision, it applies the brakes for you. I mean, if it can detect it, actually it can work adaptively, but it doesn't work that way. When the cruise control is set, it goes straight toward the car. It doesn't slow down when it sees a car. It has such a handicap. I will enter the driving modes from the features and switch to sport. There's a bit of heavy traffic here right now. Yes, we've reached the connecting road. I switched the car to sport mode. Yes, now I've pressed it. It sounds almost like a V6 engine coming from the car. This sound is satisfyingly revealing. Shifts gear at 6,100 revolutions. It will go further. It was 150. It still has capacity to go more. A 1.0 engine. Generally, it's somewhat underestimated around here. They say, how far can a 1.0 engine go? But rest assured, it goes quite nicely, and it's a hybrid. I don't know how much it supports. I don't know what it does, but it goes quite well. When you switch to sport mode, an S sign appears here. Right now, I'm going 120, going at 2,600 RPM. That is wind noise and road noise. I do not hear engine noise. So when we set out on long trips, it's quite... The steering wheel is vibrating right now because I got very close to something. I am flooring the gas pedal again. The engine sound comes through nicely, but it's very quiet. Just so you know, the vehicle doesn't have a particularly unusual engine sound. It says the top speed is 190. So in the 170s now. Well, it's fair to say it's running out of power, but it's going quite stable. It doesn't tire you out. While on the road, it honestly doesn't give you the feeling that it's going to stall. In that regard, it's good. It helps you with that, I mean. There's also a 155 horsepower version. It probably goes even better. If you get that, you can travel much more comfortably. If you're going on the highway or taking a long trip with this car, it's a two-seater vehicle, suitable for two people. If you have a child, you might experience a bit of trouble in the back. It's narrow at the back. Or if you're tall, you might experience discomfort in the back. If you're of more reasonable height, a bit more economical in size, the back will be sufficient for you. I can compare it with Clio for this and that. When I used the Clio as well, it was a bit chaotic like this. I got the same feelings with this as well. When you use the turn signal to change lanes, it doesn't interfere with you in any way. But if you change lanes without signaling, it makes the steering wheel vibrate. Just a little bit challenging, but you... If it's a place you need to exit, it can cause a bit of trouble in such situations with that intervention. Look, I'm turning right now, for example. The car doesn't detect these turning lanes. It still hasn't detected them. Let's see when it will detect them. Let's find out. The collision warning also appears in red on the screen. As you can see, if it got a bit closer, it would have braked. So if you make this kind of motion towards the vehicle, it scares you, or rather, the vehicle gets scared of you and thinks you are going to hit it. Look, we entered a rough road. This is a milled road. You hear the sound? Well, I don't know if you can hear it. There is a rattling sound right now. It's turning the steering wheel now. Look, the car is turning. Let's signal and get away. The details are like this. When you switch to Echo, the pedals become quite muffled, but overall it gives a nice feel. It's just that there are parts of the interior quality that I didn't like. Especially there's very hard plastic at the top. Hard plastic is used everywhere, even in the Agea. You feel some softness when you touch these areas at the top. Here a fabric has been used so it doesn't stand out too much.
I'd have expected a bit more quality, to be honest. I have nothing else to say. In my opinion, the price of this car is a bit high. It could have been a little more affordable. It seems somewhat distant from competition. Now that BYD has entered the market, honestly, the price range seems a bit high to me. I don't know, of course, but the car's appearance is very nice. Everyone looks at it when it's on the road. You can feel people turning their heads and saying, oh, it's a nice car. These were the details. So you might come up in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow me. Now, the more comments you make, the better it is for me. Even just writing thank you or putting a period is something for me. It's a plus. See you in the next video. Take care. Goodbye.